Israel's retaliatory strike against Iran this morning occurred just hours before Congress advanced legislation to send aid to Israel, along with Ukraine and Taiwan. You remember in 2023, the House of Representatives passed legislation to provide aid to Israel, which stalled in the Senate. What can we anticipate for this updated version of foreign aid legislation, now scheduled for a vote in the House tomorrow? Joining me to discuss this is Congressman Eric Burlison, who recently returned from a trip to Israel. He serves on the House Oversight and Accountability Committee, the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and the Committee on Education and Workforce. He represents the 7th Congressional District of Missouri. Congressman Burlison, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Joseph. Good to be back.
Good to have you. What's your reaction to the developments in the Middle East and specifically Israel's counterstrike against Iran?
Yeah, I think that Israel did a measured response. I think that it was designed to de-escalate, but also to make the statement that you're not gonna get away with attacking a sovereign nation like Israel. And I'm glad that they did, and that they are demonstrating that they have a right to be there.
Now, you've recently been in Israel yourself. You've had conversations with the leadership there. You've seen the damage inflicted on the country by Hamas. What did you take from that experience? How is that informing what you think the United States should be doing in that situation?
Yeah, I think that, look, as a Christian, I was able to go to, the origin story of my faith. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if it was under control by the Palestinians or people of Gaza. This is because Israel it's a peaceful nation. It's a Western style democracy. They support free speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, all of those things that we hold dear here in America. And but sadly, those values are hated by nations that border Israel. One of the things that I took away from the meeting was that whenever we toured a kibbutz, which is basically a community, I call it a homeowners association on steroids, that was in southern Israel, bordering on the Gaza Strip, and we went door to door, and look, it was the most shocking experience of my life, because I saw bullet holes, homes riddled with bullet holes. Homes were burnt up. The photos of these families were there. You knew that they were either dead or kidnapped or worse. And it's just it was horrific. It was barbaric. And one of the things that was the most disturbing thing that I learned is that there were 3 waves that came in. The first wave was the elite guard of Hamas. Then the second wave was the rank and file military. And then the third wave were citizens, Palestinian citizens. These are the people that are supposedly innocent, but they came in, and they were the ones by the tens of thousands that came in and looted and raped and kidnapped people. In fact, that's one of the reasons why Hamas claims that they can't really account for all of the people that were kidnapped, because they weren't kidnapped by Hamas. They were kidnapped by the citizens of Palestine.
Now, based on what you experienced and learned there in Israel, how important is U.S. aid to Israel's potential success against Hamas?
Yeah, I mean, Israel is an ally to the United States. It's in our best interest, and I think it's the interest of humanity. The Bible says, when God told Abraham, He said, "He who blesses you will be blessed." I think that America owes it to Israel to defend them, because they defend us. And look, our support of Israel is a lot cheaper than the cost of sending an aircraft carrier over there. So it's a very, and Israel doesn't need near the support as other countries do, because it's a thriving economy. But it's a good relationship, because a lot of what Israel is purchasing is from the United States. It's from our military contractors in the United States, which benefits the U.S. as well.
Now, you hinted there at the fact that there are other countries who are also facing conflicts, who are also seeking the help of the United States. That all of this is happening, of course, in a political environment. This weekend, Congress and the House specifically will be taking up aid packages regarding Israel and Ukraine and Taiwan. What's your perspective on the future of these aid packages?
Well, I think that they're designed to pass. I think the speaker has gotten enough Democrats to get it across the finish line. I won't be supporting it. While I would support aid to Israel, I've already voted for that, and will vote for that portion of the bill again. But at the end of the day, the United States is $34 trillion in debt. We cannot afford to keep bankrolling these wars all over the world, particularly when it comes to Ukraine, who's not an ally of the United States. They're not like Israel is, like Taiwan is, and so I just don't think that it's in our best interest to continue to send a lot of the money that we're sending to Ukraine. In fact, more than half of it is not going to fund, bullets and ammunitions. It's going to fund the social aspects of the Ukrainian society, which is not acceptable. Look, people in the United States, we need help. We have our border that's completely open on the southern border. And for months, the speaker had the same views that I have still to this day, which is that we need to focus on securing our border before we're going to pay to secure the border of Ukraine. And unfortunately, he's changed his mind on that.
Congressman, in about 15 seconds, if you can, at the top of the show, we showed a clip of Speaker Johnson essentially saying that if it were not for the current package being considered, a discharge position would have essentially forced the Senate version of the bill on the House. What's your reaction to that?
Well, this is basically the Senate version anyway. I'm not sure that there is very much daylight between these two bills. One of the more atrocious pieces of this is that the money that was supposedly go to Taiwan, the President Biden can redirect that to Ukraine. We're also sending $9 billion to Hamas.
I hate to cut you off, but we are at a hard stop here, so I really appreciate your time. We're going to continue covering this when we come back on Monday. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.